So without further ado, let's welcome to the stage Viktor Axelsen and Casey Yoneyama from Yonex. Let's give them a round of applause. Welcome, man. Welcome. How you doing?
I'm here.
Casey, yeah, please. Have a seat.
Great. Thanks.
Well, welcome, Viktor.
Thank you.
Not that you need an introduction, but a 2 times Olympic champion, a 2 times world champion, a 4 times European champion. Welcome to Birmingham, and I know a competition you're feeling very excited about.
Yeah, definitely. It's great to be back. YONEX All England is a special tournament for every player, and for me included. So I've had some, great memories from here already, and I'm very excited for this year. So good to be here, and especially, on this occasion. So very excited and very happy about that.
Well, thank you for your time. I know it's a busy few days for you coming up. Casey, listen, it's great to have you back as well on behalf of Yonex, and good for you to be sat next to Viktor again. I know you two have worked together a lot over the years. It's great to have him back and continuing this relationship with Yonex, isn't it?
Yes, very excited to be here. Obviously, Viktor and I, we've spent a lot of time over the years together, having lots of conversations during COVID, having Zoom calls, catching up, and it was really good. And I'm just excited to be here to launch a collection together, and it's been a great process, so I'm happy to be sharing it with everybody.
Well, listen, it's great to have you all here. Great for you to all join us today as well. And listen, this is more than just contract renewal, more than just the launch of the VA collection. It's a shared commitment to the future of badminton, with obviously Yonex at the forefront of this, really putting emphasis on performance, innovation, empowerment of players as well, and inspiring the next generation, more than just an equipment collaboration, I think it's fair to say, isn't it, Viktor?
Definitely. For me, a collaboration with Yonex is way more than just when it comes to equipment. As you say, the future of the sport is very important for all of us, and we want to create something which is bigger than me as a player, and we're very focused on the future, and with this collection here, I'm super proud to have my name on a collection. It's a big thing for me, seeing Linda and Chong and joining them. It's a special day for me, for sure.
Yeah, only the 3rd player to have your own collection. That's really exciting. We have those 3 fantastic rackets in the background there. The ZZ, which is I think the one you use, isn't it? The tour and the game. We'll go into a bit more detail about them in a few moments' time. But I wanted just to talk firstly about your journey with Yonex, because you've been with them since you were a teenager, haven't you?
I have, definitely. I still remember very clearly when I got my first Yonex contract. For every player, and me included, you always wanted to be with Yonex. To me, it's the ultimate brand, and I remember very clearly getting the first racket I needed to test, and getting, I played in Odense back then, and go down and testing the rackets and choosing my first Yonex racket, to now being here is a big dream coming true. So I remember it very clearly. I'm very thankful for all the support I've gotten through the years, and we have grown together also. Me as a teenager to where we are today. So I'm very, very excited about it.
And you mentioned a moment ago Lindan and Chong, sort of alongside those names now with your own collection. Just how much does that mean to be mentioned alongside those names with your own collection?
Yeah, it means a lot. Obviously, the legends, as you say, and also the Legends Vision, all those players who are included there, to be joining them, and to have my own collection alongside them, it's great, and hopefully with this we can continue to motivate and inspire the younger generation, and through this collection as well is a part of that. So it's once again a big dream for me, and I'm very excited to get it all started and get it out there.
Casey, obviously Yonex has supported legendary players over the years. What's just so special about this relationship with Viktor, another legendary player that you guys have added to your collection?
Well, there's so much about Viktor. I wouldn't know where to start, but I would say actually recently, even on the Yonex side, we've been doing a lot of introspective work, and we've been thinking a lot about, okay, what are our values? And our values, actually next to you, we have our Yonex logo, and it's our logo is paired with the blue and green. And we went back to our roots, and our roots is actually, the more I learned about our roots, the more I felt like it actually tied very closely with who Viktor is. So the blue stands for the blue skies, unlimited potential. Green stands for the green grass, where it grounds us. And we also like to think about it of the blue being innovation, while the green being integrity. And there's different ways we look at that. It's this duality. And I think like Viktor brings that duality in a whole new way. And I think like the partnership fundamentally has worked because we've shared this type of like understanding of each other. And so to be able to, I guess, continue to transform, evolve together has been what's so great about our partnership.
Really interesting, actually. And I think what that shows us is how this partnership, this branding has grown together, and a lot of your personality is in this collection, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, definitely. I think you know, to have a partner where you have shared values, I think it's key. If you know, I think both the fans and you know everybody watching, they can sense if the partnership, if there's a mismatch. And for me, throughout my career, it's just been a perfect fit and helped me being able to perform on court the way I've done. So I'm very fortunate to have had that career alongside Yonex, and as you say, grown together with shared values is something which is very important, not only for me as a player, but even just as important outside the court as well.
Actually, touching upon that, because it is such a long-standing relationship now, how do you feel your career has developed as a result of Yonex? Do you think they've helped you turn into the player you are today in some way?
Definitely. You know, without the support from Yonex and you know my other partners as well, we have had a lot of focus on you know having the right partners, and together with Yonex, having the right equipment, making sure that all the equipment is a good match for me as a player. Also back to the you know the new performance center and everything. Being able to take that to new heights and you know chasing those few percent, which on this level is so important. Yonex has been a big part of that, so most definitely.
Has it been interesting to see his career develop, Casey, all the success he's had and been such a big part of that with Yonex?
Of course. I mean, I'm a badminton fan, so just simply watching the matches is always exciting. And then seeing Viktor's playstyle transform over the years. I mean, starting off, he already had the height, right? But it's not just about the height. It's about the footwork, the power, the amount of finesse that goes into his net game. All of that has continued to transform throughout the years. So then on our side, it's like, okay, what kind of racket, what kind of shoes will actually complement that, right? How can we support what he's trying to achieve on the court? And so I know that it's not necessarily me, myself, the team has had a lot of conversations with Viktor about, okay, right now we need a little bit more power. What can we do? What can we adjust? And what racket would suit Viktor at that moment in his career? So for us, we are fans, but we're also supporters. We do what we can, and if we can win alongside, that's just just as good as it gets.
Yeah, you feel the success together, don't you? That's clear to see. I think a big part of what Yonex does is the technology that's on show, and you recently visited the Blue Lab, didn't you? So we're going to reflect a little bit on that, but first let's just take a look at the video that Yonex have prepared for us from their Blue Lab.
I'm very happy to have been one of the first players to be here and try out all the cool stuff there is.
I'm good. I have my own chair.
The room we're standing in now, the cloud, where you can do all the data collection, and you really can try to analyze your movements and your smash and your racket movement and stuff like that. I think it's definitely something which is a big step in the right direction when it comes to badminton and analyzing your swing and your footwork. So I'm very much looking forward to the future and see what Yonex can do with all this. Training sessions here, we can analyze even more my movement, maybe even a full match or something like that at the center here. I've always said that my biggest goal is to reach my fullest potential, and I always try to see if I can get better. Now with this data here, now I have a good chance to analyze and see if I can get better somewhere in my game, and that's what I'm going to do.
Very cool. Was that a drone that was flying around you when you were playing then?
Yeah, it was, yeah. So you know, the whole experience being at the the Performance Innovation Center was a big eye-opener for me. You know, really being able to get some data, one thing is how you feel on court, how you feel with a racket, but to actually get the data and you rely a lot on your, how you feel on court, and to be able to see the numbers and, see, okay, maybe a little bit more weight in the racket head and stuff like that would be very beneficial for my power or all this kind of, points that you can figure out and fine tune. That was definitely an interesting experience for me and all the players there.
It really can help you sort of fine tune and tweak your game. There's a lot you can take from that experience, I think, isn't there?
Yeah, for sure. As a badminton player, as I said in the past, we haven't been able to really get a lot of data points. So to be able to get that, especially on the footwork as well, how you put the pressure on the feet, your swing motion, definitely very, very interesting.
Casey, clearly that's a good investment from Yonex and something that you obviously feel is a good technology for players. It's quite special, that, isn't it?
Yeah, the Blue Lab is something that we're just launching last year. Is a huge step forward for us as a company, as a brand, and hopefully for the sport as well. Nowadays, innovation is honestly expected, right? But it's not something that you can always promise. And at the same time, though, what's amazing about the day that we live in now is technological innovations are also getting faster and faster. So motion tracking analysis, like having force plates in the ground to understand really how much weight is being distributed in each step. These types of things we didn't have access to so easily, like let's say 15 years ago, 10 years ago. So things are becoming more accessible, technology is advancing, so then why not apply that to the way we look at sport? And I know that a lot of the other sports already do that, but for us, we didn't necessarily have those types of technologies accessible to us in our hometown in Niigata, Japan. It's quite countryside, it's in the mountains and it snows a lot. So it's not necessarily the place you would look for like cutting edge technology. But by bringing that right next to our manufacturing facilities, it allows us to test product, make it, then test again, and make it, and this cycle to get to better product faster than we have before. So the Blue Lab is a huge investment for us to step forward to find new insights, test new ideas. We talk about failing faster, trying to get to better products faster. So for us, we're very excited about where this is going to take us. It's a new muscle for us to use, but I think that it'll be an exciting journey.
Yeah, it sounds like an exciting journey, quite a new sort of journey you mentioned, and one that can hopefully help the next generation of players as well, a facility they're hoping to utilise, I'm sure, in the future.
Yeah, like as you said, it is the next generation. So of course, our partnership with tremendous athletes like Viktor here will challenge us to make better and better products for the top level players. And at the same time, a facility like that allows us to then bring in players of all different levels and do extensive data gathering, whether they're entry level or they've been playing for 3 years or 5 years or 10 years or at the world's highest level. So that type of data gathering we couldn't have done before, but now that we can provide better products for all people who want to come into the world of badminton.
And just to sort of go over it again, how does using real performance data change the way you use and interact with your equipment, do you think?
As I touched on before, just briefly, I think you have an idea about what fits you as a player, but when you actually get the data points and get confirmation of that, or actually figure out maybe a few changes would have huge benefit for you as a player as well, that's definitely something which I think for me now is great, but for the future generation to come in there early on in the career, get the data and be able to follow that player during the years and make those changes early on if need be. I think that would be great. And one other thing is that Yonex is a big family. There is so many different athletes, former players, Peter Gade is here as well, to be able to maybe go there, get data points from other players from other points and see, is there something we can learn from other players as well, from other sports even. I think that's very valuable and will be for the future as well for all the Yonex athletes.
Exciting stuff. All right, well, listen, we're here to talk about the VA collection as well as obviously your continued partnership with Yonex. And you mentioned the word family there. I think that's a good word to use. It very much does have that family feel to it. I know it's obviously a part of your family as well, Casey. So it's great to see you kind of including people as well inside of that family feeling. The collection itself is available from the 26th of September later this year. And you debuted a couple of pieces, didn't you, recently at the German Open, I believe. What was on show there?
Yeah, it was my first time, using all the equipment at the Yonex German Open a few weeks ago, and a lot of positive feedback. For me, it was like Christmas for me to finally be able to get on court with my own collection, and a lot of good feedback. And I'm just so excited to get it out there, and also, constructive, criticism, positive feedback. Everything has been, I think, is very good for us moving forward with the collection. There's new drops coming out leading up to the launch as well. So all in all, very positive and very exciting start for us all.
You've achieved so much in this sport. We mentioned at the beginning, obviously, the Olympic medals, the World Championship medals, amongst the many different things you've won. How highly does this rank in terms of that feeling of success in your career when you look at your signature product with your name on it that you've helped design? How highly does that rank, do you think?
Of course, nothing can compare to winning Olympic gold, but from an early age, being together with Yonex and leading up to that, as we talked about, all these things, making the right decisions, having the right partners and the right support. I wouldn't have won the Olympics if I didn't have the right people around me, and that has led to this now, being able to have my own collection, and that's just a big dream for me. A new challenge as well. To get some, it's a new challenge for me especially. I've never tried to be alongside great designers and such a huge brand, making a collection like this. So actually it has given me a lot of, motivation moving forward, both on and off the court. So it has been very exciting.
We're going to talk individually about some of the products in a moment, but a question for you, Casey. We talk about this sort of staggered product release over the course of the year, really, up until September. How does that work then? Do products kind of come out sort of categorically? Will there be releases? Will there be drops? How does that process work? Do you know?
Yeah. Well, today we're announcing a section of the collection, but actually more of the information will come in August, about a month before the actual collection, the full collection drops. So I would say keep your eyes open and be ready for more info. Yeah.
Good news. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the rackets first of all.
Yes.
3 rackets, the ASTROX 100, the 22, which is the one that obviously you're using. Talk to us a little bit about this racket. Obviously it's got your signature on it, your branding on it. Talk to us about how the racket sort of feels, how it plays.
Yeah, the ASTROX 100 is a racket I've been using for many years now, so it's very important for me and for us that it was the same racket that I will be using. But to be able to design it and to get this colorway going and get a racket which has been a perfect fit for me in my own collection has been key for me. And together with the entire collection in full, I think it just, I love the color. It pops, and on court it looks absolutely amazing. And the colorway, also playing with it, has been, a good challenge for me to get used to the new color, because I've been playing with the Coordinate color for so many years. So to have your own with your own initials and stuff, that's, it's pretty cool. I have to say that.
Obviously the performance of the racket is the most important thing, but actually that colorway and seeing your design on it, does it give you something a little bit extra when you're playing? Do you gain something psychologically from that, perhaps?
My generation would probably say it's a pretty cool flex to be playing with your own racket.
Yeah.
As you say, the performance of the racket is the utmost, important thing, and I knew that from the start. Playing with the ASTROX 100, as I said, it fits my playing style. I've had so much success with it, winning 2 Olympic gold medals with that racket. So hopefully this one will also serve me very well. I'm very confident with it, and it gives me a little bit extra motivation when it's my own colorway, been a part of designing it, and now having it in my hand, and it's it's a great feeling.
Makes that legacy just carry on, doesn't it? Casey, obviously, the idea behind these rackets, they're not just for the pros of the game. There's the Tour, which is a high performance racket as well, but then there's the game, which is maybe more of a mid-level racket. These rackets are accessible for everyone, aren't they?
Yes. When I myself used to watch the pros play the game, I'd be like, wow, that racket's so cool, I want to play with it. But my swing speed was not necessarily at the level of some of these top players. And so I think, like, as a fan as well, I was like, how can I provide these types of rackets to the people who just, are inspired by the top players. And so it did make sense to have rackets that are high spec for high performance, but then also to have that DNA live in a level for people who may not have the same level of technique or may not have the same speed in their swing. So that's why you have these product tiers, so that you can have a piece of this Viktor Axelsen DNA, whether you're more of an entry level or whether you're more high performance level.
It's interesting to know. Before we move on to sort of talking a bit more about the Apparel, obviously it was really interesting to hear from Casey about the Yonex branding, the colours and how they're designed. You mentioned quite a bit about the colourway of the rackets. Is there a story behind why you've gone for that particular colour? It's obviously something synonymous with you, but what's the story behind that colourway?
I think, for us it was very important that, the color, first of all, that it looks great on court, and it's sort of, is something which I would like to stand for as well. For me, it was, and for us, it was very important that the colorway was, going through the entire collection. And most importantly of all, we didn't just want it to be for on court. We wanted to both have it off court, because it's a badminton player. For me, I live in my badminton clothing. Yeah. And we walk around, we shop, we do everything in badminton clothing because the next practice is coming up. So we wanted something which would be, very good for off court as well, lifestyle, if you go to the gym, whatever. And to have something which also have some, a cool design with it, with the color, with the lime green color here, which I enjoy a lot and I'm a big fan of. That was sort of a very important thing for us, that that color was a part of the entire collection on and off the court.
Cool. Well, it's very consistent. It looks great, and we lead into the Apparel. You sort of mentioned about it there. It's designed predominantly for, I think, performance enhancement, doesn't it? Sportswear has to be easy to play in, has to be lightweight. Just talk to us a little bit about that design and how it feels to play in.
I think Yonex, throughout my career, have always been in the forefront when it comes to using different materials and making sure that the performance on court with the apparel is is good. And this is no different. I've been practicing with it leading up to the Yonex German Open, trying to get used to it, and I've never felt so comfortable on court. And I'm not only saying that because of my own collection. When you sweat a lot, especially when we're playing in Asia and doing training as well in hot environments, I've been feeling very light on court with it, and that's have been a great experience for me.
And I believe it dries 10 minutes faster than the previous models as well. So that just...
I haven't timed it yet, but it's probably right.
Next time we'll sit there with a stopwatch maybe. And sustainability obviously is at the forefront of everything Yonex does. And the Apparel has been designed with material that's sustainable, such as the bamboo material as well. Sustainability and comfort, I think, is at the forefront of what's being designed here, Casey.
Yes, as a company, we have a 2050 environmental vision, so it's quite long term, but that means that we have to make quite a lot of aggressive decisions at this point in time. So it's not, of course, it's not just Viktor's collection, it's how we think about product as a whole. How do we provide the performance and the support that the athletes need, but also how can we employ new materials that are easier on the planet, right? Less CO2 emissions. How do we give product more longevity? So we're thinking about these things, and I would say that it's quite hard to balance performance and sustainable materials, but there's a lot of companies out there trying to experiment with these types of materials to see how they can, in fact, maintain, I would say, let's say strength and lower emissions, or breathability and longevity. Like, these things may not necessarily live in the same space, but a lot of companies are trying to figure that out, and we're trying to join that conversation. And then Viktor's collection gave us a chance to also test some new ways to approach it. And so I would say, if you see some of Viktor's clothes at a shop, go and feel it, wear it, see how it feels.
Actually, we have some of the clothes in the back there, so at the end I think we encourage people to go and touch things, because you really, as you mentioned it, you get a feel for things when you touch it. I had a little swing with the racket earlier as well. You get a feel of what a champion's racket feels like. It's good to get stuck in. And you mentioned a bit about the design of different materials. They're Japanese made and ultra lightweight fabric. I mean, you can sort of tell by looking at it, can't you, that it looks.
I look light, right?
Yeah, you do. You look you look like you're kind of moving around quite freely.
Yeah, let's hope I feel light on court tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
But,
well, good luck.
thank you.
And thank you for joining us today as well, because I know it's obviously a busy few days. You've been training today as well?
Been training a little bit today as well. Now it's just waiting. Excited to get on court, and this year is a little bit more special with all this going on as well. So a little bit more excited this year compared to other years, and hopefully I will have a great experience on court this year. And I'm looking forward to get going.
We know you have good ambitions at this event, and what better way to sort of relax and to launch your own
Couldn't
collection.
Couldn't
I love
be
it.
Yeah.
Well, you're very welcome to join us. Thank you so much for your time. Let's talk a little bit about the lifestyle range, because there was one particular, I guess it was like a polo shirt that I saw over there, which I really like the look of. I would 100% wear that around, playing sport, but also I think the idea of the lifestyle range is it's, as you mentioned, you kind of always in this clothing as a badminton player, and I'm sure there's sort of badminton players at grassroots levels right through pros that have the same approach as you. Talk to us a little bit about the lifestyle range.
Yeah, as I said before, it was very important for us that it wasn't just on court, it was also off court. We, as I said, we almost sleep in our badminton equipment, and also you want to look good when you move around off the court. And I think that with this collection as well, as a lifestyle apparel, we have very good choices as well. I've been using it a lot, and I use it, of course, every time I'm off the court, and you feel very comfortable also. So that was very important for us to have something you actually can use off the court as well, and look good in as well.
And I think, listen, Casey, fans of sports, they often sort of connect with their stars and the people they admire the most. And I think that's one of the nice things for people when they do purchase these clothes, is it's a way of connecting with Viktor and his style, and feeling ever closer to the people that they look up to in badminton.
I 100% agree. I think when it comes to these high performance materials, they aren't necessarily at the lowest price point. There's a lot that goes into it. And so what we provide to Viktor may not necessarily be something that you want to wear every single day to practice. And so that means, as you say, if you're a fan and you want a bit of that Viktor Axelsen DNA, well, you have a larger range and you can wear it both off and on the court. When we were talking about the apparel lineup, as Viktor said, wearing the apparel basically on a day-to-day basis, whether it's on court all the way until you sleep, and knowing how these materials feel on court, it's like, why can't I employ this into my off-court apparel? This kind of comfort, this kind of breathability, why can't I have this off-court? So that being at the center of our conversation, we looked at how we can create this whole collection, and that's what you see today.
A pajama range coming next, perhaps, right?
Yeah, that's in the 2027 collection.
Look forward to it. It's quite a broad question, this, but just sort of from your personal viewpoint, what's been the most important thing in developing your own collection?
I think one thing is the story, to get to this point, having the VA collection now, and then obviously that the whole collection as a whole, leading up to the launch, that there sort of is in this case a green line through everything. That has been very important for me, that my DNA, Yonex's DNA in a match, and we figure out a way to get to the best design, the best racket, and I think we can be very proud of what we have achieved, and we're both, I guess, very stoked for it to get on market and see how the fans react. That's how I feel.
Equally as excited by
yes,
what's
definitely
been said
excited
by Viktor there as well, right? From your point of view.
And our design team, they did a great job. Not just the racket, not just the shoes, it's the whole collection, right? So ranging all the way to accessories and bags. And so there's so many pieces, and they all live in the same world, but they each have their charm to it. When I look at the collection, what I personally see is I see, the forest green, you'll see it in his shoes. The forest green is kind of the calmness that Viktor brings, and you see it on the court. But then the lime green to me is like the moments of power and agility that just kind of suddenly catches your attention, and that's what Viktor is to me. But with that, the racket actually has this bit of purple, and that purple to me is the creativity and the fun that he's having on court. So to me, I see all these elements of him expressed through the color and the way we style it. And so I'm excited to see how people will take that and if they can feel that as well.
There definitely seems to be like an artistic feel behind this, and I think part of art is the story behind it, and that does come across very well here. So that's really cool to see. How does it feel for you, Viktor, knowing that fans and players across the world are going to be wearing your designs?
Well, it feels a little bit surreal, to be honest, and I'm very proud about it. And one thing is that they're having a chance to wear, the VA collection, but as Casey also touched on, being able to work with, so talented designers, and I've been to the factories a few times to see how much hard work, there's been put in to make this happen every single day. I feel, it's a huge privilege, and as you say, I'm a little bit excited, but a little bit nervous, but mostly excited to get the collection on the market and see how the fans react. And it would be a great, moment for me when I see, in a badminton club or something, kids especially using my collection. That would be something which I would be very, very proud of, because, I also just started as a kid in the club, and for them to be able to wear my collection if they want to, that would be a proud moment in my career as well.
Yeah, it's great to see this creative side coming out in you as well, and the inspiration that you're taking from, helping develop the future of this sport is a key message that we're getting across here. And I know you touched upon it a little bit earlier, but the feedback you've had since the YONEX German Open has been very positive so far, hasn't it?
It's been very positive, and as I say, there's been a lot of comments from all over the world, and people are asking questions and having their own opinions, mostly very, very positive, and again, constructive, feedback, and that's very cool. Usually you get it's only about the game, and if you win and you lose, they have comments about that, how you play. But now they can also, see the collection and give their feedback, and that's just for the collection to move on, and for the future, that's just very great for all of us. So very exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. Casey, just sort of before we move on, how will the collection evolve before its full launch later in the year? Is there sort of anything new to come? What can we expect?
I would say I would rather not go too much into that detail. I want everybody to discover that as we roll it out bit by bit.
I like that. We keep some suspense, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Some surprises still to come, folks. Okay, so we're going to recap just a little bit on what we've spoken about today. There will be some time for some questions. I know a few of you have got some questions you'd like to ask. The focus is really, as we've mentioned here, on Yonex's commitment, extending really beyond your traditional sponsorship. We've spoken a bit about it today. It's about looking to the future. It's about helping the grassroots level of the sport sort of thrive. And it's more than just a sponsorship deal, this, isn't it?
Yeah, it is for sure. For me, again, it's something for the future generations. To me, to be a part of that and be able to, through this, collection, inspire and take the sport and the equipment to new heights. I couldn't obviously do it myself, so to have Yonex as a partner to be able to do this and again inspire and take the sport to new heights, that's for me something which is very, very important, and something we look forward to.
And exciting how Viktor and Yonex, and we use this word innovation, continue to push forward. It's a collaboration that does seem to come across as very innovative.
Yeah, I can say that Viktor challenges us.
Yeah.
And it's a very healthy relationship, very healthy partnership. And on the Yonex side, our company mission, of course, it's through unique innovations. Ultimately, we want to connect people through sport. And so that mission that we have is something that Viktor basically lives and breathes already. And so it's only natural that we come together to figure out how can we amplify both of our endeavors and both of our strengths in the sport of badminton to ultimately reach more people in the sport. So I would say that this collection, while I'm so excited about it, it really is only one component of like the range of things that we're going to be able to do going forward. And so yes, our partnership is extending. That partnership includes things like this collection, but we're talking about more things that we could potentially do. And those conversations challenge us to think about badminton differently, and it's just a great partnership.
is that sort of openness to explore many different opportunities, alongside the collection. Is that one of the things that excites you the most about this continued agreement you have with Yonex, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I've always said since I was, a little kid that my biggest goal is reaching my fullest potential. And you really, it changes all the time depending on, how the circumstances are and stuff. And I think that's both our goals, to just reach the full potential, keep pushing the boundaries, see how far we can come. And it's no different with the VA collection. Keep pushing, and with the partnership as well, developing the sport and innovation in the forefront. And that's the plan for now.
And do you think it's important, this kind of innovation, for shaping the future of the sport as well, badminton on a whole?
Of course, there's a lot of competition, both on the court and off the court, and you have to keep pushing forward, and you have to inspire, and you have to challenge each other. And I think, as Casey says, it's a very healthy relationship where we play, not against each other, but we challenge each other, both on and off the court. And if you want to get better at something, I think you need to have those conversations and always try to ask, how can we get better? That's very important.
Yeah, I think you don't want just people saying yes, do you? You want people challenging you, which is obviously what is the case with Viktor in a very healthy way, as you mentioned. What's next for Yonex in terms of player partnership and innovation? What does the future look like?
Well, there's a lot being discussed, but one thing I do want to say is Viktor just said we challenge each other both on and off the court. And I will say, I played him once half-court singles, and I couldn't get a single point. I could not return a smash.
And you're a decent player as well, by the way.
No. I dabble. Yeah. But it was fun.
I think you did pretty well, to be honest.
I should have asked him to play with his other hand, his left hand.
I like that. You've got someone, a colleague from Yonex coming on. You just don't lay back at all. You don't give him a chance.
If you use full VA collection, I might let you win.
Okay. All right. I'll have my team set me up. But yeah, our partnership, I would say we haven't necessarily discussed like the concrete, what is the plan for the next 6 months, 12 months, but there's a lot of brainstorming happening. Our global marketing team is here as well, but they've been speaking quite a lot with Viktor, throwing out ideas and seeing how can this transform into the future. One thing I did want to mention though is actually a couple of years back, Viktor and we worked on a video together. It was a Yonex brand video called Today is No Ordinary Day, and Viktor was the hero athlete in this film. And it's just about Viktor going through his day-to-day, and I got to join him on this shoot, starting early in the morning as the sun rises. He's getting ready, getting his food ready, all the way to it's match time. How do I get ready? If you haven't seen it, check it out on YouTube. But
what's it called, the video?
Today is No Ordinary Day.
Okay.
And then at the end, there's this one quote that he left, and I wanted to read it. He writes, "Success isn't just achieving great results; it's having fun while you do it." And so for me, this was a really impactful moment when he shared this with us, and this was the core insight as we went into making this film. Because, well, one, it's just very Viktor, but two, it's this is how our partnership should be, right? So if we're going to think about then what are we trying to innovate towards, what level do we want to get to? Yes, we're going to talk about that, we're going to challenge each other, but at the same time, let's enjoy it. So for me, this whole process of coming up with the designs and the team coming up with apparel design, shoe design, bag designs, I didn't necessarily have the day-to-day conversations with Viktor, but I was behind the scenes enjoying every step of it, hearing what Viktor's saying about it, what he's liking about it. I was like, oh, nice, he chose that one. I feel you, I like that too. So those types of moments are just really, really positive. And I think what I look forward to in the partnership is enjoying how we're going to transform and how we're going to challenge each other to contribute more to the sport.
That's a really nice story that Casey's told us there, and I love how he's picked out that one particular quote about enjoyment. Was there anything you wanted to add to that? Because that was lovely.
No, as Casey says, I think it's so important that we have fun. Both, when I play my best, it's while, I'm having fun, and I would never have gotten this far if I didn't enjoy what I was doing. And again, that's also why the partnership is such a great fit. We have fun, but we're also serious where we need to be, but we enjoy every single step, the ups and the downs, and that's why I think we both can be so successful and keep innovating. So fun is key in everything you do.
Yeah, I think that's very nice, nicely put by both of you. Okay, I think that's a nice point to throw to people with any questions. I'm sure there's a few of them, so just raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question, and we'll get them asked to Viktor and Casey. Anybody want to get things started off?
Viktor, you mentioned how the future of the sport is really important for you, and I wanted to know how you can see yourself in the role that you're going to play in that, and also how much thought you've given to what your legacy might be.
My goal is to obviously, as I said before, try to do as good as I possibly can and reach again my fullest potential on court as a player. But the sport is way bigger than I am, and I want to stay involved. And luckily with Yonex, we have a great future together, I'm sure, to be able to also join the legends who are also already still a part of the legends vision, and especially do a lot of great work when it comes to the grassroots. I feel nowadays that the fan base in badminton has become way more involved than when I first started, of course with social media and stuff like that, but I feel like this will be the golden age for the sport moving forward. So many things are happening, and I think it's very important that we focus on the younger generation coming up, navigating through their career and making them realize that every person is different, every play style is different. So finding their way through the sport and continue to motivate the young generation is something I have big, motivation for. So hopefully I can be a part of that for many years to come.
Thank you. Yeah, we actually have a microphone if you wanted to talk into the microphone. I think it's going to go into the recording as well.
And you're obviously launching this at the All England, and I wanted to know what role and how important has the tournament been to you so far in your career, and what you'd like to achieve this year as well?
I remember my first All England coming here playing the qualification back then, and to come into the arena, and the atmosphere here is just different. As a player, it's very hard to describe. But it's almost like when you go to the Olympic Games, there's an atmosphere, it's very different from everything else on the HSBC World Tour. This is different. Like when you come to All England, you can just feel it, the vibe is badminton. And I've been very fortunate to be very successful at the All England. And every time I come here, I just hope that I can do well, because an All England final is just something, extraordinary.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you.